I respect you so much, but you're freaking wrong.
You should say it like that.
In Crash Course World History, Episode 15, The Crusades, Pilgrimage or Holy War, John Green skips over the Second Crusade because he says it bores him. Respectfully, Mr. John Green, I love you, sir, and I respect you dearly, but you're wrong. You're wrong, and you're wrong to be bored by them because we've got hot sizzling tea, we've got drama, we've got warfare, we've got slaughter, we've got torture, we've got incest. Maybe we'll cut that part. A lot is going on in the Crusades2, 2 Fast, 2 Furious. Hello, I'm Moss. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are jumping right in with Zengi's attack on Aleppo. Zengi, who is the governor of Aleppo, he attacks the Christian kingdom of Edessa, okay? 1144 AD. Zengi attacks Edessa. Edessa writes for help to all of its brother Christian kingdoms all around. He writes to Jerusalem, hey, please help me. I need help. We're Christian crusader kingdoms. We'll do war together again, like bros. And Jerusalem says, oh, bro, you know, I love you, bro. My heart goes out to you, bro. But we've got a kid for a king now. And so we're stuck in like political limbo for like the next decade. So, even though we've probably got a regent and competent people in charge, we can't help. Oh dear. So Edessa writes to Constantinople and says, hey, please, I need help. We're bros. And Byzantine goes, oh, you know you're my bro. You know you're my bro. But our king just died. This is so awkward. Our king just died. And his son is fighting off a bunch of rebellions and revolts. And like, I don't think we can make it this time. Oh, sorry. And so Edessa writes to Antioch and says, please help me. We're Edessa and Antioch. We're neighbors. We're bros. Come help me, please. And Antioch writes back and says, oh, bro, you know, I'd love to help you, bro, but unfortunately I've gotten, quote, insatiable hatred, unquote, for you, and so refused to come to aid. So Edessa fell in just 4 weeks. When word reached England of this, Pope Eugenius III calls for crusade. And in France, we meet a guy named Louis VII, okay? Louis VII, he's like 25 years old at this point. Louis VII, he's got that Catholic guilt going on. That Catholic guilt, okay? This guy's got problems. Growing up, Louis VII was the spare, not the heir, okay? Meaning, growing up, he was going to become a priest. He grew up in cloisters and among monks, and he spent his whole life learning that, you know, sex was a sin. And suddenly his older brother gets killed, and he's yoinked out of the cloisters, and suddenly a crown is crowned on him, and he said, okay, you're king, you're in charge, you have to get married, you have to procreate, go. Some stuff happened to Louis while fighting a rebellion. He was in a small town at a church, and there was a church involved. A lot of people during this battle ran into a church, and the church was made out of wood. And a night, someone set the church on fire, and everyone died. Louis did not give the command for the church to be burned down, allegedly. He's got so much guilt over this. It's eating his soul alive. And so when he hears the call to crusade, he's like, finally, a chance to cleanse my soul, a chance to get remission from sin, a chance to purify myself in God's eyes. And so Louis volunteers himself and his wife, named Eleanor. This Eleanor was of Aquitaine, okay? Aquitaine, here, I'll show you a map here. Aquitaine was a big region of France. Aquitaine was enormous, and Eleanor was the heir of Aquitaine. She was bringing it to her marriage as her dowry. Louis VII and Eleanor reach Constantinople, because that's the way you go on crusade. You go to Constantinople, then down. They reach Constantinople in 1147 A.D. Now, the previous September, that guy Zengi, he had been stabbed in his sleep by his slave and died, and his son Nur ad-Din had claimed the governorship and had come to power. So, Edessa remains in Muslim hands. I don't care. There's a noise. I don't care. I'm on a roll. I'm going to go for it. Ahead of Louis, the German king, Conrad III. Now, Conrad III is the German king. He is not the Holy Roman Emperor because he has not been crowned by the Pope as Holy Roman Emperor, so he's just some random king right now, which is drama, Mr. Green. That's drama. So, Conrad III, he sets out for Antioch. He's overconfident, and he decides to go ahead of the French forces and heads to Antioch. The way, it's actually very close on the map. They hadn't gotten far. They are attacked by Turks. William of Tyre says, of 70,000 mailed knights and many companies of foot soldiers, countless in number, barely a tenth escaped. Survivors retreated to Nicaea with Conrad III, who survived but was wounded. Now, Louis VII, he arrives at the rendezvous, and Conrad III still can't fight. So Louis takes command of his troops and knights and is now the combined king of France and Germany, and acting in command. And unfortunately for them, they had a worse time than Conrad III. Okay? January 1148 A.D. Okay? After 2 months of hard slogging, the Crusader army is strung out, tired, thirsty, and suddenly, Turkish attack! Okay? They're wiped out. Turks 2, Crusaders 0. Our army, writes William of Tyre, was reduced to a very few. That day the glorious reputation of the Franks was lost, their valor crushed to earth. The survivors limped and straggled their way to Antioch, okay, where Raymond of Poitiers was. Now, Raymond of Poitiers, a few things you should know about him. 1, he is the same guy that refused to send aid earlier to Edessa. This whole crusade could be blamed on him not helping his brother kingdom. 2nd, he's Eleanor's freaking uncle. And 3rd, he's hot as frick. According to William of Tyre, he was very tall, handsome, far beyond all the kings and princes of the world. A charming and elegant prince. Now, Raymond is in charge of Antioch, okay? And the army is too small at this point to even think about Edessa, okay? They're the few survivors of a massacre. So, Raymond helpfully suggests that they attack Aleppo instead, because that was Nur ad-Din's headquarters. It was less fortified, and it was smaller than Edessa. Louis VII, at this point, oh my God, Louis VII just wants to go to Jerusalem and pray. The only reason he survived the massacre is because he escaped up the gorge by climbing tree roots. That's how desperate and close it was. And this guy already has PTSD from the church. And he's raked with guilt. He just wants to complete his pilgrimage and go on to Jerusalem. But T alert, Raymond got Eleanor on his side on the Aleppo thing. And so she starts kind of lobbying Louis VII to attack Aleppo. Louis is refusing. They're going back and forth. It's in front of the court. Okay, this is gossip. Okay, finally, Eleanor announces, she didn't do this privately. She announces that if he didn't follow Raymond's idea, she'd ask the Pope for an annulment to dissolve their marriage. This pushes Louis over the edge. He forcefully removes Eleanor from Antioch and drags her down to Jerusalem, where they complete their pilgrimage, say prayers, etc. After saying prayers and stuff, they go up to Acre. There, they meet with the recovered Conrad III and his reinforcements. A great council of Crusader knights, lords, and princes is called to determine the next move. Okay, what's going to happen? They decide to attack Damascus. The siege begins July 24th, 1148 AD. The siege lifts 5 days later with a Christian retreat. Nur ad-Din sent troops. He didn't do it himself. He sent troops just to go and retrieve the city, and the Christians were so outnumbered, they fled and dispersed. Thus ends Crusades2, Too Fast, Too Furious. Yeah, that was the whole Second Crusade. That's what you were missing out on, Mr. John Green. The rest of the tea. We've got a little bit more tea. Conrad II and the army returned to Europe. Conrad II and the remains of the army returned to Europe. However, Louis VII remained in Jerusalem until Easter 1149 AD. So he stayed there longer. Finally, he and Eleanor returned to Europe in different ships. That's tea. That's the tea. Okay, Mr. John Green, how dare you ever say this is boring? Louis VII and Eleanor of Aquitaine returned to Europe from the Second Crusade on different ships. Okay, this is important. This is history. As soon as the last of the infidel Christian invaders were gone, Nur ad-Din invades Antioch. The following battle, that jerk Raymond, I don't like Raymond, but he was handsome Raymond. Handsome Raymond, they called him. Handsome Raymond. In the following battle, that jerk Raymond was killed, and his body was beheaded, and the head was sent to Baghdad as a trophy, rumoredly in a silver case, in like a silver box. Ooh, that's fancy. Muslim victory, Turkish victory.